I am screwed it up already.
Come on, Brett!
You won't put your name up there, and I put my name up there, so we did at the same time, and it went to Glenn. And I'm like, it's Glenn! I won't let you put my name up there, sorry. All right. You guys did such a nice job clapping, too, again. Please welcome to the stage, Brett, go! And yes, my name is Brent Gove, and I'm here to kind of tell you a story of, I believe, one of the most special companies to come around along in a long time. There's always that unicorn story, that revolutionary company that comes to an industry and transforms it. And I believe that day is the day. Of course, that story is about eXp Realty. Wonderful, amazing transformation. Now, before I kind of get into the story, what I'd like to do is just give you some brief background on me, and I promise to be brief, so here goes. I've been in real estate 25 years. My first 12 years were at a super company called Remax. Just really enjoyed my experience there. It was an A+ experience. And about 2009, I switched to a company called Keller Williams, and I was kind of told it would be terrible, it would destroy my career, and honestly, I went there and just flourished, and I did really well. Loved my experience, my time at Keller Williams. I'm very learning-based student of real estate, so I plugged into the masterminds, all the education and training. Spent 8 years, wonderful. In fact, about 5 years ago, maybe 4.5 years ago, I was there thinking, I am at the greatest real estate company on the planet. I mean, I'm head over heels in love with Keller Williams. I will never leave this company. I will retire at this company. In fact, I actually felt sorry for agents at any other brokerage in the world. I'm like, if they only knew what they could have. And I actually had empathy for them. Enter eXp. One day I get a fateful call from a friend of mine, Sheila Fairchild from Dallas, Texas. Is here for Sheila. Like many of you watching this model explained video, I'm about to explain this revolutionary model for real estate agents and brokers that really, the benefits are incredible, and I'm going to dive into it. But she asked me for my opinion. She didn't ask me to leave Keller Williams, because that, of course, was not going to happen. I felt like they were in their own universe. But I'll give you my opinion. And about 25 minutes later, I stood up, leaned over my laptop, and said, I cannot believe I'm going to say this. I'm in shock. But I'm really, really interested in what you just showed me. I was floored. I didn't think anyone could have something that was even close, let alone what I just saw, if it's true, stratospherically better, empirically better. So let's lift the hood and take a peek under the engine. And so every once in a while, there's that special human being that comes along, that Steve Jobs or Elon Musk or Richard Branson, there's that Henry Ford, there's that moment where the right person shows up, Jeffrey Bezos, and they create a company that just changes the way it's always been done. It's always been done this way. Well, Glenn Sanford, back in 2009, created a virtual real estate company. Now, I want to cover that real quick. We are not virtual. We have offices. You'll work out of an office. So lose the fact that you think you're going to be floating around in the clouds showing property, or you'll be working from home. I'll demonstrate how that's not the case. But eXp is a brokerage, and its staff and employees is virtual, and it's amazing. So we'll talk about that. But this is a very special guy. He had a vision for something that other people have, but he actually executed it and made it a multi-billion-dollar company which we all now benefit from, and we're all shareholders and stakeholders, so we all benefit from that. So what Glenn did was he created this new model, and you see it happen like probably the innovation of Netflix. Remember Blockbuster? Who remembers Blockbuster, right? Yeah. And an 800-pound gorilla in the marketplace, they took everybody out, and they were the dominant force. And within 5 years, they were bankrupt because of technology and a disruptor called Netflix. Look at Amazon. I remember, do you guys remember when you first heard about Amazon? And we're thinking, no way, I'm in some jungle in South America, and it's a terrible name for a company. I mean, who here hasn't ordered from Amazon, right? And so they've shaped the largest corporation in the world and many others. Well, eXp is in that kind of a category of disruption and innovation, utilizing technology. And so how do they do it? Well, oh, by the way, there's this guy, Tony Robbins, you may know him. He noticed, for example, Airbnb disrupted the hotel industry. He took Hilton, been around at the time, it's a couple of years old, but a 100-year company valued at $18 billion. And then you have Airbnb, just 10 years old, valued at $31 billion. And they don't even own real estate or assets, they're cloud-based. And pretty interesting what they've done. By the way, Hilton has gone up to be valued, last I looked, at like $28 billion, so they're actually really growing. But Airbnb went to well over $100 billion last I looked, just in 2 years. And when you get online, when you embrace technology, the world becomes your oyster. It's not just Sacramento, California, where I'm from, or Cleveland, Ohio, or West Palm Beach, Florida, or Miami, or La Jolla, or San Diego, or Dallas, Texas. Your market becomes a global market, and it begins to become mind-blowing what can be achieved. And so, a little bit about our cloud campus. We actually have a virtual world you can get and walk on. Probably the best example I can give you is you take a college campus like Harvard, Yale, Stanford, do I dare say Texas A&M, or I'm afraid to say a college around here, but Oklahoma State, Alabama, I'm going to stop. Anyways, we get thrown off the stage, college football fans, but here's the deal, you go onto a campus, and you can walk around that campus. There's different auditoriums, buildings, there's engineering, there's liberal studies, there's all these different places you can go. And eXp is no different. We have a virtual world. You can walk around, attend meetings, auditoriums. It's very cool. And the cost is like pretty much, once we built it out, zero. There's no heating, no cooling, no cost. This, today, very expensive. Trust me. So remember I said you won't be working from home. I mean, if you want to work from your home office, go ahead. I've worked from an office for 25 years. I still work from an office. We work from Regis. I left Remax and went to Keller Williams after 12 years. After 8 years, and I changed broker just one time in 20 years. I don't move around a lot. Same mortgage broker for 14 years. Same transaction coordinator for 18 years. Same wife for 30 years. 5 children, we adopted 2 more, 7, but I'm kind of a stable guy. I don't like a lot of change. But we work for Regis. There are 3,000 of these around the globe. They're beautiful, they're amazing. They purchased spaces. And so now in Sacramento, we had 6 of my old brokerage locations. I have to give all that up and work in the cloud. I've got to work from home. There are 8 Regis locations where I actually not only did not lose, I picked up 2 additional locations to work from around town. In San Francisco, San Jose, there are 40-something of these office hubs, and these are the rage. This is the trend in business. There's hundreds of professionals that work there, and most of them don't have a real estate license. And we get buyers, we get listings. How many of you have gone to the office and got all these buyers from people walking around, or the people list at the office, right? Me either, 20 years when you new here. And so we have lead generation now. At my prior brokerage, 2 back, Remax, I think I got 3 leads in 12 years. And then I went to KW, great company, but they said, we're going to teach you to get your own leads. And they were true to the word, they did a great job there, but didn't get any leads in 8 years, that's fine. But at eXp, we actually have a CRM and a lead generation tool that if you spend, and it costs money to spend, they give you the tool, but the spend is about $250 a month. My first month, I got 120 leads for $250. Is that good? Yeah. And so we teach you how to use that product, but pretty awesome database and all that. Then we do live meetings. We're not just in the cloud, we're live. This is the meetings in Sacramento now, the largest meetings in the capital of the state, that leads the nation, that leads the world, is eXp. These are eXp agents and broker associates. We have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of agents that show up. If you look at the screen, it's a lead capture system. We're training on lead generation. So we meet in person. You get to be around each other all the time. You're not going to be isolated at home, which people think. And then we do live training in the cloud. We do have training on the virtual campus. And we have, last I looked, 10 to 15 different classes a day, minimum, sometimes 20, 25 classes a day, taught on the campus on commercial real estate, luxury real estate, residential, buyer, seller, social media, database, how to build a team. It's all there, just like any other company, but taught by the stars of all the prior companies, so that the training is world class. Then we have equity opportunities. And what I mean by that is you actually get to own a piece of the eXp World Holdings. Brenner Holdings is eXp Realty. So you don't just own a piece of eXp Realty, you own a piece of everything. What I mean by that is they now have these students that say, someday we'll have mortgage, we have Success Mortgage. Someday we'll have title, we have Silverline Title. Someday we'll have a home warranty, someday we'll have, we have all those things. And your stock is in the parent corporation, eXp World Holdings. So you will benefit as all those companies prosper and do well. You're going to benefit, your children, your family, your children's children. So it's pretty cool. Now, regarding this stock, it used to be a penny stock. Our competition would say, talk to your financial planner. Penny stocks are very risky to invest in. Well, first of all, we're not asking you to invest in anything. There's 5 ways to acquire the stock, and 4 of the 5 ways are awards. Who likes stock that is given to you? You have certain sales metrics. If you hit certain sales numbers, you're rewarded with stock. When I did that for 20 prior years, I was rewarded with a plaque. Right? Anybody got anything from those plaques? Right? Right? And trophies, glass, they became glass trophies, and there was recognition. You're number 7 in the region, you're number 4 in the region. And guess what? We do the same thing at eXp. We show you how you're doing, we promote you, and say how you're doing, and we even give out glass trophies. But along with that becomes stock. And my first year at eXp, I was awarded, I believe, 50-something different stock awards. Now that was revolutionary. That was different. Now, that stock went on to become millions of dollars because the stock was no longer a penny stock. We went on the NASDAQ, and now we're become a multi-billion-dollar company. When I said that at RE/MAX is a billion-dollar company, and Dave Winter's doing great. How are you doing? Keller Williams became a multi-billion-dollar company. It's debt-free, and it's privately owned. Isn't that awesome? Think about what I just said. It's privately owned. I worked there for 8 years, set sales records and all that. None of us felt like we owned our prior brokerages. Do you feel like you own the brokerage? No. I was talking to the guests. Right? Now, some of the guests are independents, and they actually do own the brokerage they work at, right? But here's the deal. So when I came to eXp, I started earning stock award after stock award after stock award. And then the next year, I earned another 30 to 40 stock awards. Every year I get probably 30 plus stock awards year over year. It's 3-year vesting. And in 3 years you can cash them. And I had a guy I've been doing a little 4.5 years. Because that's a gimmick. He goes, what do you mean? And it was a penny stock. It was like $2.90 a share. And he goes, you don't know what that'll be worth in 3 years. And he had a point. I had to say, well, take it, you're right. But how long have you been in your current brokerage, which was Berkshire Hathaway, is 12 years. I go, do you have any ownership of Berkshire Hathaway? He goes, of course not. I go, how many homes do you sell a year? He was like 50. He's a New Jersey, real intense guy. And I said, you get trophies and plaques, right? He said, of course I do. And I said, I'm going to take a chance with the stock that is given to me by the founder of eXp, Glenn Sanford. Let's hear it from Glenn Sanford. Well, that opportunity is coming on, really, because we are now worth over $6 billion, and there's 60,000 of us. This year will end at 90 to 100,000, I believe. And I believe the stock's going to follow 60,000, 6 billion. Watch what happens when you have 90 to 100,000. Watch what happens when we hit 250,000 agents in the next 24 months and become the largest real estate brokerage in North America. The problem is a guy in the front row here, Michael Valdez, he's the president of eXp Global. He just brought us into 17 countries during COVID-19. And our goal is to be in 100 countries within the next 9 years. Okay, Michael, you know, and he's right there with us. He's excited. I don't know, I haven't asked him specifically what his goal is, but I'm working on it. But we believe we'll be in 100 countries within the next 9 years. He'll probably do it quicker. And you think, what is that? What does Australia have to do with you? Brazil, UK, Portugal. How about Hong Kong? What does Hong Kong have to do with you? It has everything to do with you. I'm in Hong Kong. I'm in 17 countries. I'm in all 50 states, every province of Canada, Alaska, Hawaii. And so will you if you do the work. And we're going to talk about what the work is. But when you close your first transaction with eXp, you get stock. We have a cap in eXp. It's 16,000 a year. It's a competitive cap. If you don't understand a cap, ask the person who sent you this model. Explain. Hopefully they're watching it with you right now. So explain the cap to me when this is over. But essentially, once you paid in $16,000 to eXp, they put you at 100%. And when I was at Remax in 2005, I paid them over $450,000. Is that a lot of money or little? There was no cap. So Keller Williams came along with that innovation and said, we're going to stop taking money. And they have different caps around the country. Sometimes the caps are $22,000. I was paying $27,000. I met people in New York and San Francisco and San Jose. Their caps are like $35,000, $37,000, $40,000 a year. So the caps vary. At eXp, it's just $16,000 a year, no matter where you live. It's just that's what it is. And then if you're a buyer's agent in the team, or you have any kind of listing specialist, their cap's a half cap, which is 8. Okay? And then if you're a big brokerage and outfit, being defined as 10 or more agents on your brokerage, that there's a mega team cap where your agents only pay $4,000 a year to eXp for all the benefits. So but when you cap at $16,000 paid in, you get another stock award. Every time you sponsor someone, I was just telling you, I was at Remax for 12 years. I sent at least 100 people to that company. They're like, how do you like that Remax? I love it. They joined, I got a $10 Starbucks card. Well, eXp, you don't get a $10 Starbucks card. By the way, I got 3 $10 Starbucks cards in 12 years from thoughtful managers, right? And so at eXp, every single time I got a stock award, which is why I got 50-something stock awards my first year. Some were earned from sales, some were earned from referring people to the company. Now, the fourth way you can acquire the stock is if you cap to $16,000, like it says there, and do 20 additional sales with a transaction fee of $250. Once you cap, you do 100%. So if you're going to check for $10,000, you get it all minus the $250 transaction fee. And some of you are in areas where the commission checks are $8,000, some are $15,000, some $20,000, $30,000. They removed the $250 and a $25 broker review fee and $40 for email, you get the balance. So it's pretty competitive there. But when you cap and do 20 sales, you actually earn your cap back in the form of stock. You pay in 16 and you get 16,000 worth of stock. And that's what that guy from New Jersey called me on the carpet. He said, you have no idea what that'll be worth. I go, well, what do you pay Berkshire every year? It's about 40,000. I go, you ever gonna get it back? He said, never. I go, why are you fighting so hard against me? You know, well, if Berkshire said, here's $40,000 worth of our stock, hopefully someday it'll be worth something, would you just go, yes? Or would you just say thank you and see what happens? By the way, that stock award for me is worth, I've been calculated lately, it was somewhere between $300,000 to $400,000. I had to keep it for 3 years, remember the 3-year vesting? And I still have it. And I believe one day, well, I don't want to make a forward statement, so I just think it's going to be really good one day. Okay? 300,000 to 400,000, yeah, that's not bad, right? That's just one of my 50-something stock awards I got 4 years ago. I'm just telling you. You got to study this model. Now, the fifth way you can acquire stock is we have an agent equity program. You can take 5% of every closing and purchase stock at a 10% discount. Now, if you move to a financial planner, they'd say, well, if you want to be conservative, get into gold, silver, buy bonds, and it's 2, 3, 4%, blah, blah, blah. If you want to be medium risk, we got 10%, and at the end of the year, you make 10%. Well, at eXp, the second you buy it, you bought it at 10%, you make 10% the day you bought it.
Wow.
That's pretty cool. And so it's an optional program. I really don't know anyone not taking advantage of that. So every time you have a closing, you can make 10% on your money. You can only use 5%. So on a $10,000 commission, it's $500. But you just, trust me, all year long, you do 10 closings a year, 20 closings a year. Some of you do 30, 40, 50, 60. You can get this 30, 40, 50, 60 times. I have friends who have acquired millions of dollars worth of stock over the past 4 years of just doing this. I have 3 buyers agents on my team that have $1 million worth of stock. It changed their life. So enough with the stock, but I think, how do you think we really encourage our clients to rent apartments or to own apartment buildings? To rent their home or to own the home? What do? Own the home. What do we do as agents? We work for big brokerages. I'm telling you, stop working for billionaires. See, we don't work for Glenn Sanford. We own the company with him. That's what makes us so different. Does that make sense? Let's get it. Now I'm on the home stretch. This is really why I came to eXp. It actually wasn't the stock. I come from a real estate family. My mom and dad, Jim and Carol Gove, are, been in the real estate industry over 50 years, and they were top brokers and superstars for Coldwell Banker. I grew up going to Coldwell Banker picnics and office parties, and that was my background. So, when I saw this was the game changer. This was everything. Cascading revenue share. What this means is when you take the middle numbers, you add them up for you math people, it's 16,000 cap. So when agent caps, money comes to the company. The genius of Glenn Sanford is he took the cap and broke it up into bite-sized rewards. So if you look on the right, you see that 1 plus. If you prefer 1%, he peels off $2,800 and gives it to you if they cap. Is that good or bad? Good. Is it more than a $10 Starbucks card?
Yes.
Can you get a few of them? How many can you get?
280.
A lot, right? So am I limited to, if I told 10 people, that I go, they cap, you mean I get $28,000? I go, yeah. On my first 10 months, I told 40. So you multiply 28,000 times 4, and it was over 100,000 in revenue share. Because I'm so excited, I want to change the lives of my friends. And guess what? They responded, they sold franchises. They quit their jobs as general managers of big brokerages. And I'm like, in an instant, once they understood this model. Now, the way you unlock the different tiers or revenue share levels is by sponsoring people. If you look on the right, if you sponsor 5, it unlocks tier 2, 10, tier 3, so forth and so on, all the way to tier 6. It grows in increments of 5 when you've been enrolled 25 people, and you told them about the company, and they're like, wow, this is great, which happened organically at RE/MAX and organically at Keller Williams for me. Guess what happens? I did it so much quicker here because I was excited about it. It unlocks 6 levels. And of course, there's a jump of 15 agencies to level 7, but look at what you get paid for every single agent. Limited on level 7, $4,000 an agent. And we're going to explain how that works. I remember when I got there, it took me 10 months to refer 40. I had 10 agents there that were capping agents. So what's 10 times 4? 40,000 a year from 1 of my 7 levels. Is that a little or a lot?
A lot.
Okay, now if these agents stayed the year 2, you got it again. So now it's 80,000. You told those 10 agents are now worth 80,000. They stay year 3, you get it again. So let me give you an example of how this works. So let's say that I'm going to give you a 5-year example. What you're seeing I did in 6 months. It's just an example. It may take you 10 years, 5, a year. I did it 6 months. You may do it in 3 months. It's up to you. But if you sponsor or attract and enroll 10 agents for eXp, what happens is you get $2,800 an agent. You can see clearly there, that's $28,000. If those agents stay next year, you get it again. Well, that's $56,000 a year. If they were to stay for 10 years, you'd actually make how much? $280,000 for referring 10 agents to our brokerage if they're capping agents. Make sense?
Makes sense.
Now, let's say those 10 agents begin to tell their friends. That's exactly what happened. Sheila told me, I told 40. I didn't tell 10. But let's say they told 10 over the next 5 years. They tell 2 agents a year for 5 years. They will, at the end of 5 years, so I'm told how many? 10. That's 1 person every 6 months. So if you have 10 agents, you're told 10, you have about 100 agents. Now, every agent, if you go back, on tier 2 is worth how much? $3,200. So So if you have 100 agents, because you told 10 and they all copied you, which happened for me in 6 months, I had 100 agents on my tier 2, capping agents, and they're worth 3,200 apiece. Well, Brent, what happens if they don't cap? What if they only do half a cap? Then they're worth 1,600. What happens if they only sell 1 or 2 homes? They should think about a new career. But it would be a quarter cap, so it would be a quarter to 3,200. This is a revenue sharing model. It does take sales. Most markets will cap. Most markets will cap with 6, 7, 8 sales. Not a lot of sales to cap, right? And are agents motivated to get to 100%? And we really take those agents and get them from 6 or 7 up to 12 to 14, up to 20 to 30. Very easy to do. So you have 100 agents times 3,200, that's 320,000 plus the 28 from the 10 you personally told. That's $348,000 a year outside of what you do in real estate. Would that change your life at all?
Oh yeah.
And I ended up getting 4 times that amount. I put all together my first year, my second year, and $1.4 million in revenue share. Is that a little or a lot outside of my real estate connections? It's on the average you were recruiting, you kind of built this sales organization. Oh, you mean like Coldwell Banker? Yeah, I did. Like Dave Lineker from Remax? Yeah, I did. Like Berkshire Hathaway, like Sotheby's family, like the Christie's auction house and real estate company, like Keller Williams? Yeah. Everybody who ever did anything great got off the sales treadmill. You know, but I love it, I love it. But we're going to be honest, you're a little tired. You're tired of missing anniversaries and birthdays and being pulled away from Little League and soccer. I was. I had all these kids. I've been doing it for 2 decades. I said, I love it, it's great, because I had to. Right? And you try to create boundaries, you try not to work on vacation, but this was life-changing. One cool thing that Glenn Sanford created about 1.5 years ago was that 50-50 initiative. I love this because what this means is he committed all the money that comes into the company, he's going to make sure that 50% of it goes out to the agents and broker associates at our company. So what we're telling you is it hasn't happened yet because we just launched mortgage like 2 months ago. We're just launching title, we're just launching all the healthcare and all these different things. But as those monies come in and those companies become profitable, do you think if 90,000 people were ordering mortgage and title and home warranty, we could make some money? So you actually can end up getting more money than the numbers on this list, more than 2,800, more than 3,200. You guys with me? Yeah. I love that. Now, who do you talk to? Anyone in your hometown? You think, well, Brent, you were a successful guy. You knew people. You want to go to all these masterminds and coaching. You went to Star Power and had Howard Redman and Craig Proctor. You went to Brian Buffini and Carlsbad. You did Mega Camp. Yep, I did those things. I'm guilty of being a student of real estate. I'm guilty of being nice. I'm guilty. People, when I told them, they were happy to talk to me. And so, yeah. But honestly, the 40 people I told, 37 were right in Roseville. So like, where's Roseville? Suburb of Sacramento, 120,000 people. And then what ruled life, and I'm telling you, if you live in Dayton, Ohio, all you have to do is talk to a few friends. They know people in Alabama and Iowa who know people up in British Columbia, the Kamloops, Calgary, Alberta who know people in South Africa, in Mumbai. I mean, I talk to people all over the world today on Zoom. I don't fly, travel, you don't have to do Zoom. One good thing about COVID-19 is it taught us that Zoom is an acceptable way to do business. Do we agree? Yeah. So it condenses your time. It's a beautiful thing. So you'll have a global business. The sun never sets on my business. And if you do this, if you put in the work, it can be that same way for you. So as we're wrapping this up, here is a summary slide that you would want to take a picture of if you're a guest here today, or you're watching this someday on a presentation. Take a picture of this. There are no desk fees, no royalty fees, no franchise fees. I've paid them for 20 years. I work for 2 of the biggest franchises in the world, Remax and Keller Williams. I paid desk fees, I paid royalty fees, I paid franchise fees to the tunes of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. I go to eXp, we're a national, international real estate company. No desk fees, no royalty fees, no franchise fees. We're not a franchise. What there is an 80-20 split, and when you have paid in 16, you go to 100% split, just like it shows. That triggers once you're at 100 and 250 transaction fee. for your first next 20 deals. Once you do that, you get 16,000 in stock. And then the other thing I didn't tell you is they stopped charging the 250 if you're one of those agents who sells 50, 60, 70 homes a year, or 170 or 700, and they just charge you $75 per transaction. You keep the rest. They are liable. It's their E&O policy, and their state broker gets to go to litigation, mitigation, right? The lawsuit, not you, for you independent brokers. So it's pretty cool. Standard startup costs are $149. In Canada, it's a little bit more. By the way, worldwide, the product, what this looks like, is very, very similar. It's just in South Africa, we use the rand. In India, we have the ruble. In Mexico, we use the peso. On the Baja Peninsula, it's the dollar. You get the idea. But our monthly tech fee is $50 a month. Our university fee is $35 for all those classes, 10 to 15 a day. We look at a little over $1 a day. So you get the tech fee and the monthly, the university fee. It is $85 a month in the U.S. to participate in eXp. But you get our websites, you get all of our technology, cutting edge. You get over 10 to 15 classes a day. Plug in, don't plug in, it's up to you. But all the stars teach great classes, you should attend them. And there's a $25 broker review fee on each transaction and a $40 per sale E&O fee that caps at $500 a year. Once you paid at $500, you're done. Any independent brokers out there like to pay $500 a year for your E&O? We have brokers out here who pay $10,000 to $20,000 a year or more for their E&O. That's over. Keep your trading E&O in place for another 7 years, but it'll be over in 7 years for you. And so, with that said, become a shareholder. If you've seen, like what you see, go to join.exprealty.com and apply. This will not move you to eXp. We do not call your current brokerage, but apply. You're going to get independent contractors are going to be able to read through that, max up everything I just told you, read it with the highlighter, but I would take the time to go to join.exprealty.com and apply. Here is what it looks like when you get to that website. You just hit the apply now as agent. If you're a broker associate, hit the same button, and you're just making application. We actually do review every agent and broker associate in every state and every province of Canada. Make sure you don't have any blemishes on your record. If you do, it will trigger a discussion with the broker of that province or that state, and then they'll make a decision. Basically, if you've had run-ins with the Department of Real Estate, which happens rarely, but if that's you, they'll be calling you. Now, here's our founder, Glenn Sanford. When he hit the NASDAQ with the executive team, the board of directors, this was a very exciting day for us a few years ago. We're on the big boards with Apple, Cisco, Intel, PepsiCo, about 50 companies a year get on the NASDAQ, is what I've been told. And there are millions of companies worldwide. We were one of those companies 2 years ago in our field, and we're very excited about that. And then they let you actually close the financial markets. You literally hit that button and Apple stopped trading. Google stopped trading. Amazon stopped trading right before the buyer to sell. It's an honor they give new companies at the NASDAQ. Does he look happy? Why? Since he knew it was going to happen, because in the past 2 years, his company became worth multi-billions. No longer a penny stock. Debt-free, money in the bank. We said the most profitable quarter we've ever had last quarter. Stock is booming. This is an exciting company to be a part of. So what I'm telling you is this, I would say this, my experience at Remax was good. My experience at Keller Williams was great. My experience at eXp has been life-changing, life-altering. I'm no longer impacting homeowners in just Roseville and agents with my 18-agent team in just Roseville. I'm able to impact agents on a global subscale, and I focus on changing the lives of agents and broker associates, not just helping the buyer with the dream of homeownership and the seller to retire and move or upgrade their home. How many of you like to have a bigger impact on life? More purpose, more engagement. So if you're checking this out, what better place to go than our eXp convention? It happens once a year. It's in Las Vegas, Nevada. Easy to get to. It's an international destination. It is November 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. And it will be exceptional. Ask the person to say, I want to go to that. I want to check it out. They offered this to me. I go, great, what is it? They go, next week. So Right now it is August. You get a few months to prepare for this. I bought 3 round-trip tickets. I told them no at first. They're like, what are you doing? Real estate? I need more time than a week. But I ended up showing up to San Antonio, and all of eXp was there, about 400 people in the room, right over here, right? And but I was so impressed. I got to meet Bud Stanford, I got to meet Jason Gessing, I got to meet the board of directors, the executive team, people like Michael Valdez and Stacy on it, and it was just, for me, I knew I was at the right time with the right group of people. So I really encourage you to go to this. I'm personally putting on a mastermind in Cabo, March 6th through the 11th. You can register today. We had 700 people last year. It sold out in 72 hours. This year we'll have about double. I expect it to sell out today. So you need to go on the app and get your Cabo ticket. A lot of surprises going to happen there at the Hyatt Ziva in Cabo. And then finally next year we're in Dallas again. How's it been? Has it been a good event here? Thank you for being here. Enjoy the rest of the event. And I'm actually done. I don't know if I ended that right or whatever, but it was kind of weird. This may never see the light of day, but for those of you that are guests, was that helpful? We kind of see it. We were chopping up, and then I realized you were clocking me. It was about 30 something. You clocked me, and how long was that? 32 minutes? 35. So here's the good news. We're going to touch it really good in time, and we are committed to getting the 20s. I don't know if we'll use it, but was it good? Yeah. Well, anybody want to ask questions for a minute or two while we're here? I can handle some questions. I'm done. I wouldn't mind a couple questions from the audience about today's event. Tony, about eXp Con, Cabo, whatever you want to ask. Does anybody want to ask a question while we're here? Registration for Dallas will be probably next March. We'll open the registration for Dallas. They want to, and that could be totally false information, but I'm thinking next March. Anybody else? I will say this: bring as many people as you can to Las Vegas for our annual convention, and that's how you grow the business. That's how I grew. Have a great morning. We'll see you at 2 o'clock.